I'm gonna line 100 men up against the wall. I bet $100 I can bang them all. I banged about 98. I thought my back would break. I went around the corner, got an oyster stew. Came back, banged another 2. I'm gonna win that banging bet. I may bang the other 2 yet. Tomorrow night at the Darktown Struthers Ball, I wish I had strength. Tomorrow night, Darktown Struthers Ball. Belle Barth, she says dirty words in a cute way and everybody digs her the most. Because she's a balabooster. She makes flanken. Flanken with kasha vanishkas, with grits. Boston. Pardon me. I had a bunch of buttes from Boston here last night. Real squares. One looked at me like this. I said, if I was Paul Revere, I never would have warned you bastards. That's a hell of an opener for a record, I'll tell you that. If you're going to be embarrassed, honey, you'll have to leave because here you won't hear the Gettysburg Address, you know. Gonna send this record to Tel Aviv. I wanted to know the words to Hava Nagila, but I couldn't find them until I listened to Harry Belafonte. I heard it in Israel this time. Yeah, I heard a great group called the Foreskins. You're so bashful, you don't like my show, so how come you got a ringside seat? All the ones that don't... I'll interpret for you, honey. I'll interpret. There's only 2 words you have to know anyway in the Yiddish language, and that's gelt and schmuck. Because if a man has no gelt, he is. He is. All the stories I tell you are stories that are told to me by stars, rabbis, reformed. If I embarrass you, please tell your friend. Kakamon. Means God bless you. Are you Italian? She's got a healthy pair of colognes there, right? Like the laziest waitress in the world, carrying the lumps of sugar inside here. Guy comes in for a cup of coffee. She says, sugar? He says, yeah. So she gives him 2 lumps. She bends down. She says, cream? He says, you wouldn't dare. Plus, I have other stories that are a little risque. We had another one about an old man who lost all his money. 70 years old, he hasn't got a dime. Who does he blame? His wife. He said, if you were a good wife, you go out, you work for me. She says, I should work, I'm so old and bent. She says, what could I do? He says, you could be a whore. She says, I could be a whore. He says, you could try. She says, I'll try. She leaves the house 1 o'clock in the afternoon, comes back 1 o'clock the next morning, all stooped over, dirty, disheveled, comes the gate. He says, you made out? She says, certainly I made out. I made $24.10. He says, what's the 10 cents? She says, everybody gave me 10 cents. Cute story, right, Cora? How do I ever get a clean one in the show? She don't believe it, huh? Is she old enough to be here? It's a dignified beach, honey. You gotta be 21 to drink. 21? Very dignified beach. Gotta be 21 to drink. 14 to love, but 21 to drink. While you're down here, please don't swim in the pools. Nobody says why?
Why?
Watch out for anybody that stands still in a pool. When you see bubbles, run like hell. You ever see a guy stand like this? What do you think he's doing? Should they be apart? So does I. What do you think he's doing? He ain't watching airplanes, right? He's nicht unsere. People that don't understand Jewish live in the Candlelight. Yemenites. My next story is a little risque.
Nobody said, Belle, you lost weight. I tried so hard. Yeah, I had a double hysterectomy. 24 pounds. I eat lettuce. You know, if you eat like a rabbit. Did you know I found out Sammy Davis, my cousin? Yeah. On my mother-in-law's side. You think you got troubles? There's a guy that's Jewish, married a Gentile girl, and can't even check in the kennel work. He's got sores, right, Paula? Are you married?
I am.
Got a nice wife?
I have a beautiful wife.
You're full of shit. She a nice girl? Did you know she was a virgin before you married her?
No, I didn't.
She is. Things are different today from when the first time I got married. I always say the most difficult thing for a woman to do is to try to act naive on the first night of her second marriage. She hollers at heights and he's got to tie his feet to the bed. He shouldn't fall in and drown. True? Don't play Jewish music all the time. They'll think it's a restricted club. Play an Irish song already, embarrassing me. Right, Tatala? Yeah, we know Irish stories. I speak Irish. Did you ever hear the story? It's very cute. About the Irishman that was dying, he says to his wife, please don't bury me in a jacket. I hear it's very warm down there. Bury me in a shirt. So she buried him in a shirt. When he got down there, he was freezing. He says to a guy next to him, I thought it was hot down here. Why is it so cold? The guy says, why? The Jews are here. They put in air conditioning. When Irish eyes are smiling. Jews get blamed for everything, right? I know it's a cute story. I used it in the Hadassah. That's a religious organization for very dignified women. They all buff. They all tell me my dirty jokes. Sure, where do you think I get them from? Right? I went to the Fontainebleau Hotel yesterday. They call it the Farts and Blues. Fabulous hotel. You ever go there for lunch? Friday they serve bouillabaisse. I know what it is. It's expensive. Very dignified lady is sitting at the next table. The waiter goes by, he's scratching his. He says, sir, do you have hemorrhoids? He said, madam, just what you see on the menu. Did you get it, honey? He was an MD, a maven of the heck. The next story is my favorite. It's about a man who swallowed his own glass eye by mistake. He had it in the bathroom in the glass and he swallowed it. He was ashamed to tell the doctor of his stupidity. He said, doctor, I have a very bad pain in my lower back. The doctor looked up his rectum and saw the eye looking back at him. He said, look, you gotta learn to trust me. Nice people are coming in. Holy night, silent night, all is calm. You don't laugh loud, you're not going to hear no jokes. I'm an Eggenitz. Any questions? He's got a nice figure. I was built like you when I was 9 years old. I expect that door to open any minute. They're coming right from the hotel, you know. They're very religious people. They have one in here that's so kosher she doesn't trust the cook in the kitchen. She sent her husband to a poultry market to bring her a live chicken. She wanted to kill it herself. On the way with the chicken under his arm, you know, he wanted to go into a movie. They wouldn't let him in, so he stuck it in his pants. You know, the chicken had to breathe. Two women sat next to him, one nudged the other. She says, Sadie, look what he's doing. Sadie says, what are you so nervous? You see one, you see them all. The other one says, but this one is eating up my potato chips. Ain't I refreshing like a douche? Tell the truth. Oh, I get compliments. One says, why don't you come to the Palladium in London? Sophie Tucker comes to... I said, just a minute. Sophie Tucker hasn't come in 40 years. Remember the story where the old lady went to the doctor, an hour later she comes back to the doctor? She says, pardon me, doctor, did I leave my panties here? Doctor says, you didn't leave them here. She says, excuse me, I must have left them by the dentist. Now, the guy that went up on a bus, he had a hunchback, this guy. The bus was crowded. The bus driver says, you'll have to pay 2 fares, one for you and one for the hiker. That's a hunchback. The guy walks up, he pays the 2 fares, he's grumbling to another guy. He says, he says, the hell with him, I got a rupture too, but you see, it's hidden. Wake up! It's a funny story. You see, if you went to Haiti, you'd know what I'm talking about. Tomorrow she'll get a Jewish book. Marry a Jewish guy, you won't have to go for a book. What, darling? I'm dusting the piano? So what? This is not a piano. This box is older than mine. It's a piano. It's just something I could lean on, honey. I used to play the piano. I used to sing, too. Remember I used to sing nice songs? Oh, I was such a doll. I must tell them about the milk farm we have down here. Those of you who are conscious of diets, everybody's on a diet. Everybody eats cottage cheese. We have a milk farm here. Co-ed, very inexpensive. For $50 a day, you get 4 high colonics. Any questions? Yesterday, I went to the Fontainebleau for lunch. Did I tell you? Fabulous. After lunch, I went to the pool, but not the big pool, the grown-up pool, the kiddie pool. From kids, you could learn, you know. There's a 5-year-old playing with his yo-yo in the sand. He discovered he's got one, you know, and it's marked up to night. His mother says, don't you do that, dear. You'll be blind when you grow up. He says, could I just do it till I need glasses? You get it? She sits there like the president of B'nai B'rith. Some audience looks like a hung jury, right? I did better for the OCA. Yeah, that's the Alta Cougars Association. They happen down here, don't worry. Did you hear one prostitute talking to another prostitute? She says, I made $100 last night. The other one said, gross? She said, no, Schwartz. I went to the food fair today. You ever go to the food fair? That's the place to hear it. I went when it was raining. Woman grabs me, she says, you do your own shopping? I said, would I send my maid out in a day like today? She's a real nut. Picks up a chicken, starts to smell it. Left, right, front, back, all around, she's smelling the chicken. She says to the butcher, this chicken stinks. The butcher looked at her, he said, madam, could you pass a test like that? See, he enjoys me because he knows me. Stand up, I got a bet on you. Ooh. How can you cough in Florida? It's so healthy here. Miami Beach. Palm trees and sunshine. Is that your sister, Harry? She's a guest in the Montmartre? I am. You are? Certainly nice people in the Montmartre, the newest hotel, you know. That's how people judge you down here, you know, by the hotel you stop at. Well, who would go to last year's? You'd be an outcast. And you gotta drive a 1960 Cadillac. That is the truth, though. People do judge you by the hotel you stop at. You meet an old friend on the street, they don't even say hello or how are you. Where are you stopping? Very important. I met one, I said, where are you stopping? She says, the Edenrath, where else? I said, it's 7 years old already. She says, why, where are you? I said, they're building it now. Yeah, I know clean stories. I don't make money with them, but I know them. Girls, doesn't it aggravate you when your husband smiles in his sleep and he doesn't talk? I hear that Paladin's wife has a new slogan. Paladin, you know Paladin?
Yes.
Have gun will travel?
Yes.
She says, have crack, will shack until the schmuck with the gun gets back. Cut that out of the tape, all right? Things are different when I was a young girl, huh? Well, we're all young girls. Today the kids have it easy. Years ago we had to go to the mikveh. We had to bathe in the holy water to be pure. For the bum that come out of a pool room. Oh, things were really rough for us. We didn't dare to have premature babies. We had to shove the kid back for 2 months. If you were skinny, the fella's mother said, she's a sick girl. She's like that. She's sick. Had to be fat in those days to be healthy. Times have changed, though. Today they do not sing the Mazel Tov song. The groom does not step on the glass. You know when they play ba-bum-ba-bum-bum? They don't do that anymore. It scares the bride, she has a miscarriage. Yeah, oh, they go through so much. I grew these roses myself. Sure. Everything changes. What used to be dimples is now varicose veins, right? The good old days were the good old days. I remember when a Trojan was a warrior. I remember when pandemonium was a nice word. Now it's a sex maniac with a credit card. Only some of them use Dinah's cards. Did you get it, sweetie? She's so young. Isn't it better she hears it from me than on the outside? The lady said to me the other night, she says, you do a naughty show in a nice way. She was from London. She was a lady. She wore gloves. Have you ever been to London, England? If you've never been there, Ganished. There you could lose weight. They eat mutton. They do. I was there 3 weeks. They speak the King's English. I didn't understand a word. Man wants to go to bed with a young lady. How do you think he asks her? Pardon me, young lady. Shall we have a go at it? Later on, he says, I do believe I'm arriving. Shall we arrive together? Fabulous. Those of you who've never been to Rome, Italy, it's very romantic. You'll be 90 years old if you're a blonde girl, you get lucky over there. Those Italian stallions know how to make love. If you've never been buffed in a gondola, you haven't lived. While your feet are schlepping in the water. Every time you hit a wave, the guy gets knocked right out of the box. A good man is hard to find. I always get the other kind. Just when you think he's your pal, you see him chasing around after some other gal, and then you rave. You crave, you long to see him in his grave. And if your man is nice, take Belle's advice. You hug him in the morning, you kiss him every night, you give him lots of loving, and then he'll treat you right, because a good man is hard to find. I mean find. A good man is hard to find. I'm gonna line 100 men up against the wall. I bet $100 I can bang them all. I banged about 98. I thought my back would break. I went around the corner, got an oyster stew. Came back, banged another 2. I'm gonna win that banging bet. I may bang the other 2 yet. Tomorrow night at the Darktown Strutters Ball, I wish I had strength and gentlemen, the rest of you know what you are. Would you please hold this for me? Come here, schmuck. You hold it, you hold it. Say something smart, idiot. Are you alone, girl? You are? And she's very nice, too. Last night, 6 guys walked in alone. I said, where are the women? They said, park in the cars. This is the second show of the evening, ladies and gentlemen. This comes to you directly from Belle Barth's Pub, 21st Street and Collins Avenue. I read a story about 2 men who went hunting. One was a little cross-eyed, a hunter. Shot off a shotgun. The shotgun scatters, and the other guy got hit right in the jadrul. It's Italian for cucumber. He had 9 holes in it. He ran to the doctor. The doctor got scared. He said, I think I'll send you to Schwartz. The guy said, who's Schwartz, a specialist? Doctor said, no, he's a piccolo player who'll show you how to finger it. That's what the colored people say. I likes working for the Jews because they blows the chauffeur. 9 holes in it. Well, somebody tagged me. Winchell calls me the, what does he call me? The Hildegard of the underworld. Paris is nice. Convenient, it's gay. They do most things in the street. They eat in the street. They drink in the street. Even the toilets. Pleasure. It's half toilets. You know when it's a man because their feet are backwards. I stopped at the Champs-Élysées Hotel. It was a beautiful place. Next door was a honeymoon couple. I didn't mean to eavesdrop, but I overheard it. I heard her say, "Man, make love to me, kill me, hurt me, but do something." He says, "I hurt you. Take off your clothes, put out the lights. You run towards me, and I run towards you." They did. He missed, and out the window he went. He's laying naked in the street like a real idiot at dessert. The doorman runs in. He says, "Monsieur, you like me to help you to the lobby?" The man said, "How you help me to the lobby? I'm naked. There are people in there." The doorman said, "Don't be ridiculous. There are no people in the lobby. Everybody's up on the 4th floor. There's a board up there caught in the latch." She got hung on a doorknob. Things happen. Not to me, of course. Anybody want me for a bris or a bar mitzvah? A pig in a ben? This is such a dignified group, I'm going to commit suicide. I met a nut the other day. She says, "I don't like diamonds or minks." My husband bought me an electric can opener. Some women like those things. Washing machines, diaphragms. Like the guy that's manufacturing a new product in Israel, Ramses. On it is inscribed in Hebraic blue letters, "Kum gesundheit." Come in good health. Did you get it? Good. What'd you think they were, balloons? We have one about a minister that invited the rabbi to the fights. The rabbi had never seen a fight. In the arena, the rabbi saw the young Italian fighter making the sign of the cross. He says, "Father, when he goes like this, what does it mean?" The minister said, "Not a thing if he can't fight." Explain it to him, honey. Oh, are you Italian, honey? I sing Italian songs. Quiero mare quanta bello. Are you sure Stugatz is a dessert? Guarda, guarda, stu giardino. Nice. I used to be a singer in the Borscht Belt. Leave the record, don't go. We're having a ball. I have a story that's a little risqué. Is there such a word as risqué? Yeah? I could tell it anyway? Oh, I'm 10 years on the beach. I never offended anybody. Just one woman. That's the kind that wouldn't harm a fly unless it was open. Oh, she was so embarrassed. She says, I never heard such words in my life. I said, so how do you know what they mean? Oh, she was so embarrassed she was doing this. And I said, I could sit there 2-3 shows. Yeah. She complained about me. The judge said I was lewd and lascivious. He said, how do you plead? I said, not guilty. He said, why? I said, who knows what those words mean? Am I gonna plead guilty? Not me, honey. My mother used to kill me. She wanted me to be an opera singer. Imagine me singing opera. Imagine me singing Let Me from Aida. Don't you blow. That's Puccini. Puccini. Fabulous song. I don't sing those songs, honey. I don't sing anybody else's songs. I sing my own songs. Get out your old blue ointment to the crab's disappointment. That's the only way. And though it burns in inches, it'll kill the sons of bitches. Pardon me. Did you ever read Lolita? It's a charming book, and they say I'm risque. But this guy, if you're over 12 years old, you're too old. Oh, hello. I was just talking about the Concorde, Philly. Talking about the old Concorde. When you stepped on somebody in the grass, they said thank you. Don't be embarrassed, and here you don't hear the Tennessee Wolf. Is your left one big and your right one? Mine is. My husband's a southpaw. She's looking at me, but I bet you when she leaves, she's gonna say she's cute. Right? You never get pregnant from a dirty joke, Mama. I've been trying for years. It's like one guy saying to another guy, do you cheat on your wife? He says, who should I cheat on, my father-in-law? Or one guy saying to another, they're all conversations that I hear. One guy says to another guy, you want to get screwed? He says, yeah. He says, cash me a check. It's stories. I may make the cotillion room and blow the whole joint. I have a story that's a little risque. I went to one of the pools one day. You know, who could you meet here in April? I met a guy. The kind that wears a bathing suit with socks and shoes. I said, how are you, mister? I figured he's lonesome. I didn't even understand him. He had a hair lip. You want to come up to my room? I said, what for? I'd like to give you a gruin. I said, I gotta watch. Oh, but this guy was a real nut. He keeps it up. He can, you come up to my room, I'll give you a thrill. I said, you'll give me a thrill? I've been married 5 times. Yeah? You ever been kicked in the navel? I said, yeah. He said, from the inside? I said, yeah. It's like a French diplomat that kisses babies before they're born. I could take this girdle off, I'd give $1 million. Women will paralyze you. One looks at me in the solarium, she says, why is your hair gray here and black here? I says, du hab ich nicht Consurs. I said, here I ain't got no worries. Who do you think told me this joke? A school teacher. You heard the story? Well, it's not exactly a story, it's true. Somebody asked me if I know why the Chinese people have slanty eyes, and I said no. So they told me, they eat white rice, they get constipated, so they go, When I was single, I didn't know what to do, and now that I know, I ain't got with who. Had 5 girls last night, and I asked, where you stopping? They said, the nutless. Well, that's the nautilus. They have no men there, see? They call it the nutless. This one is square as a $9 bill, this one here. We heard one about 2 faggots who were riding in a car and a truck hit them in the back and one of the faggots got out. He says to the truck driver, look what you did to my car. Truck driver says, I'll shut up before I shove. He says, no, you don't, Mary. You're not settling out of court with me. Hear about the girl who swore she was a virgin, sat in a fire hydrant, and slid right down the ground? I always say that people who are normal enjoy a risque story. People who aren't normal, they say she's very vulgar. And if we embarrass you, we'd like you to tell your friends. How bad can I be? I'm on the beach 10 years. I only had 2 suspended sentences. You like me, honey? Yeah? It's my trouble. Only broads go for me. I'm east side, I'm west side, I'm all around the town. They call me bareback Gertie 'cause my pants are always down. I am strictly kosher. I never eat any pork, but I get lots of bologna on the sidewalks of New York. I sing little ditties like this. Did you tell you this story? The Jewish guy that went up to the clerk in the Kenilworth, he says, you got a room? The guy says, it'll cost $100 a day. The guy says, I don't mind what you're charging. Got a stable for my horse? The guy says, that'll cost you $100 a day, too. The guy looks at the clerk, he says, look, I don't mind you robbing me, but my horse ain't Jewish. Isn't that a cute story? You can tell it to the kids. Oh, the kids are very square today, right? Children don't know nothing today. An 18-year-old runs over to me. She says, you ever douche with 7-Up? And I've been using Squirt all my life, Stan. A kiss on the hand may be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend. Did you ever meet him in front of the pawn shop and kiss him under the balls? I sing happy songs. I don't sing sad songs. People come to a nightclub to laugh. They want to cry, they stay home. I don't sing sad songs. Let my mother-in-law, that rat bastard, sing sad songs. She knew how good I was living, she'd kill herself. She thinks I'm a bellhop. I'm a nun. I'm doing the nun story with B.S. Pulley. There's a guy who plays with his own organ all night. Yeah, it's a cute story. True story. About a guy who had an obsession. He hated girls all his life because since he was a little boy, his father told him that girls have teeth on their little pukiaki. That's Italian. So he grew up and he finally met a girl. He fell in love with her. He married her. So on the wedding night, he went to sleep in the living room. So she called him. She said, what, are you crazy? Don't you know when you get married, there are certain duties that a husband has to perform? Oh, he says, I love you, honey, but since I'm a little boy, my father told me that, I'm a little afraid it's got teeth on it. She says, teeth? What, are you crazy? She says, come here, I'll show you. So she showed him. Took a look. She says, does it have teeth? He says, how can you have teeth when your gums are so bad? I'm not warning you, honey. I'm just telling you. Take it for what it's worth. It's about a young couple who are trying to have horizontal recreation. They lived in one room. They had a 7-year-old boy, and the father didn't know how to get rid of him. So finally he walked over, he said, son, I want you to look outside that window. Every time you see a red hat go by, I'll give you $1. The kid came back in 10 minutes. He says, you know, Pop, you're really screwing yourself out of a lot of money. The whole Shriners parade has gone by. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men. Shit. Don't say dirty words in here. Well, I've been told I look like the great, great, great Sophie Tucker, and I wish I did. Do I look like Sophie? She says, and when my final curtain comes down, I'm the last of the red hot mamas. And there ain't no one like me. And she's right. Reminds me of women when they say, I met one the other day, she says, I don't want to grow old. I says, die young. Women are so stupid. It's a great day when you can live to be old, right? Oh, I have a story that's going to flip you. It's about a New York buyer entertaining a model in the pump room in Chicago. This is very high class. I know it's high class. I gave the girl in the toilet 50 cents. She wouldn't give me a piece of paper. What can I do? Well, this broad is eating like she's got 9 rectums. Hattie de foie, pheasant under glass, piper high chick, the whole bitch, you know. Baked Alaska, and this guy is looking at her like this. He says, you know, young lady, I'd like very much to ask you a question. She says, go ahead. He says, your mother cooks like this for you? She said, no. He said, why not? She says, my mother ain't looking to boss for me, that's why. And that's a true story, as I heard it. I got a million of them. I heard another one about a Texan. It's very cute, Lil. It's a story about a pilot that was bringing in a plane. He says to the guy in the tower, Roger, over. Guy says, over. He says, I'm bringing in a passenger plane with 100 passengers. The guy in the tower says, what are you, nuts, in a 2-seated plane? He says, you heard me, son. He pulls in the plane and everybody runs out of the tower, and the guy from the tower walks over and he sees 100 little guys this big walking out of the plane. He says to the pilot, why didn't you tell me they were midgets? Pilot says, they ain't no midgets, son. They're Texans with the bullshit let out of them. You know how they brainwash a Texan? They give him an enema. Ever hear the one where the old man went in the ladies' room by mistake and this woman got it? She says, get out of here. This is for women only. He says, don't scream. So is this. You ever hear the story about the girl who couldn't join a key club because she didn't have a key, so she joined a country club? That's a story about an American that got off the plane in Cuba, and there was a poor Cuban standing there. He says, Senor, you like to bore my sister? Guy says, I can't even drink your water. I heard a very cute story about a father who's arguing with his son. His son says, Papa, what are those 2 dogs doing? Father says, the dogs ain't doing nothing, beat it. Kid says, I want to know, I ain't leaving. The father says, they're doing nothing, I'm telling you. The little one is sick and the big one is pushing him to the Mount Sinai hospital. It's a story about 2 men who went into a Chinese laundry, and one says to the Chinaman, you got my shirts? Chinaman says, you got a ticket? The guy says, I must have lost it, but I've been here before. Don't you remember me? Chinaman says, no ticky, no shirty. Guy walks out with his friend. He says, how do you like that Jew bastard? Guy says, what kind of a Jew? He's Chinese. The other guy says, they're the worst kind. The worst kind. 10 years ago, we found a song and we love it. A great song. The only song in the world that applies to everyone in the world. Right, Paula? Everybody should know the words to this song. You're nobody till somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. We may be king, we may possess all the world and its gold. Gold won't always bring happiness when you're growing old. We'll be the same, we'll never change it. As long as there's a star up above, slow, honey. You're nobody till somebody loves you. Find yourself somebody to love. It's my song, right? You're nobody until somebody loves you. You're nobody till somebody cares. We may be kings, we may possess all the world and its gold. Gold won't always bring happiness when you're alone and growing old. The world will be the same, we'll never change it. As long as there's a star up above. You're nobody till somebody loves you. Find yourself somebody to love. I mean really love. I say get out, get lucky. Find somebody